So I've got a little bit of smirk on my face because I will say my morning messages are usually exactly what I need to hear. And I just chuckle. I feel like, the spirit is a little cheeky for me. I'm always like, wow, really, you have it spot on today. So hopefully you'll be able to take my message, my daily message here, and correlate it and be inspired and help to elevate kind of your mood and your day. So that's what this is all about. So thank you for joining me for the Elle Daily Messages. We're going to jump right into it. So the first message, surrender frustration. And this is where I was kind of chuckling because I'm setting up my camera, my lights, my stuff, and it's just things are falling, nothing's really working. And I was just like, ah, and I don't usually get so animated with frustration, but I sure did this morning, and I had to just kind of stop, take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, and recenter myself because I was like, okay, you're a little ridiculous. So good thing I live by myself, because I'm not sure I'd want my kids or any counterparts to see that. But with that being said, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. There's a lot going on with the holidays, getting ready, the end of the year, wrapping things up for work. I'm going to be taking some vacation. So even that can you're just trying to get things set up and lined up, right? So there's a little more maybe on your plate than normal. So it's okay. Just take a deep breath and know that, it's all going to be okay. Maybe you can laugh at yourself. I sure had to because I felt like I was a 5-year-old having a fit. So it lasted like 30 seconds, but still, I thought I would share that because it's just real. And then the soul message today is all about being open and having openness and why opening up to greater, newer things is key. And I think I was like, yeah, this is perfect for closing out the year and opening to a new, fresh start in 2024. And I'm not a huge, you'll have to let me know if you're a New Year's resolution person. I always like to set new intentions and goals, but I do that throughout the year. Oh, see, my stuff is shaking. Sorry. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I think it's awesome to create new goals, but I also love to do it throughout the year. So here we go. Be open to receive the gifts of the universe. There's nothing to fear, so allow your vulnerability to shine. Fling your arms to the heavens and exclaim, I'm ready. Stretch, expand, and venture forth. Doors of opportunity are opening for you. So your soul wants you to know, in nature, periods of contraction, winter, are followed by periods of expansion, summer. Although there are times in life to retreat, be guarded, and go within, there are also occasions when it's essential to be absolutely fearless in your openness and vulnerability, such as the present. So you hear me talk about the present all the time. I think that is so crucial, and it is being mindful of how we can enjoy the present moment. So even if you're afraid, it's now appropriate to come out and open your eyes to new experiences, people, places, and things. Forge new directions, initiate new projects. Even if you've closed your heart because of pain or past wounds, this is the time to open up yourself wide and full. So your affirmation is, I am open to receiving the gifts of the universe. So what is it that you're trying to be open to? Is there something that you've kind of closed off and now you're like, I'm going to reopen this new adventure? Maybe you just retired. I know my parents are retired. We have a whole new fresh start. Can be a big change. And there's a lot of joy and maybe some fear that goes with it, right? It's a whole new ball game. For me, I talk about relationships a lot here. And I think, yeah, it's sometimes when one ends, it's a little bit fearful to let that go. And I mean, there's some excitement with the new, but it's like, oh, you know what? I just started getting to know somebody that I was excited about. We felt comfortable. I'm just giving an example. You know how that can be, or especially if you're going through a divorce, it is scary to think, and maybe you weren't the one that wanted the divorce, being open to that next chapter, whether it's healing and you can be fearful to try to heal through some of those things and to really dig deep and look within. Be open to it. You're going to definitely find more self-love, more soul growth, and you'll come out better. So openness, that's one thing we can really work on. So surrender your frustration, be open, which will lead to prosperity. I'm going to read this too. I love Archangel Ariel. Her message is all about prosperity. So your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams of reality. So just remember that you have all that you need to, be open and make things happen. So it's like building your little tool belt. Every day we have that opportunity to learn something and add to our tool belt so we are better versions of ourselves the next day. So I know yesterday in my daily message, I had wrapped up the 4 agreements. I love that book. If you haven't read it, I'll put the book in my link here. But it's all about 4 agreements. And one of them is being impeccable with your word. So I did pull that one today and wrote a little bit about creating a beautiful dream. Since it's about being open, I thought, yeah, how can we create these dreams of ours? So here you go. Your word can create the most beautiful dream, or your word can destroy everything around you. Impeccability of the word only creates beauty, love, and heaven on earth. So it's just, when I read that message, or when I think about that message, I really think, when I say being impeccable with your word, it's following through is the way I look at it. So you know that you're self-reliant, and you can say this: I am self-reliant, creative, and persistent in whatever I do. So I am self-reliant, creative, and persistent in whatever I do. I think it's a great little reminder to kind of tell yourself, yeah, I'm capable of anything. And then as we get into 2024, we're close to coming upon it within the next 10 to 11 days. Are you clear about your goals? Something to journal about is, what are my goals and strategies going into the new year? So, in all the different areas of your life, you can talk about spiritual, mental, physical, emotional. What do you want to kind of manifest in 2024? And what are your goals to get there? It's one thing to write down kind of your wish or the goal, but what are those actions? What are those steps that you're going to take? So that's one thing I want you to think about, or what I was journaling about. And then, how can I let go of control today? So I know for me, I keep going within and I look like, okay, you know what? You're one that, in your type A personality or your more masculine energy, I am one that likes to kind of know what's going to happen next. And I think sometimes that serves me well, and sometimes it maybe doesn't. I think for myself, and you'll have to take this how it makes sense to you, but how can you let go of control? So what is it that you're holding tight onto and needing to, know more about? Is there a way that you can let go of some of that control and just go with the flow a bit more? And then if you are feeling a little anxious and having some anxiety, what can you do to minimize it? We all have different things that maybe exacerbate an anxious moment. How can you heal that? And I know most of you know by now that I do have my psychotherapy, and I love to work on the subconscious state. And what we do with that psychotherapy is we really go back to, the early days in life and see where some of these actions and things that happened in our day-to-day lives have affected our current subconscious or current situation. So, you'll have to check out my RTT video because it explains it a lot better there. Today, I'm not going to go into it all. But where I'm going with this is I want you to know that I'm always willing to connect on that. We can do a 15-minute free consultation about whatever area you want to look at. So if it's anxiety, and anxiety tends to be a big one for clients. So that's why I brought this up. And control can be one of them too. Like, I know for myself, I have to work on that. Like, why do I feel like such a perfectionist and need to take control of certain situations? What can I do and how can I let go? But I think I know, looking back for me, it was like I grew up in a family of 6 kids and there wasn't a lot of control in my life. So my room was kind of my little sanctuary where I had everything kind of put together and a little bit more organized. So you can start to look at your childhood to be like, oh yeah, that's maybe why I do this. And okay, as long as you're aware of it, that's when you can start to really hone in and kind of change that. And not that we need to change everything about ourselves, right? There are some really good things that we have within. So I'm not saying, like, sometimes I feel like I talk so much about change that you're kind of like, hey, Ellen, you can just love and accept where you're at too. And there's such beauty in that. And that is really what this is all about, is loving and honoring where you're at and giving yourself a bit of grace. So the last 2 things that I kind of reflected on, I'm all about the chakras. And today it was all about the solar plexus. And that's really about our confidence and being convicted in our decisions. For me, I'm really quick to make some decisions in certain areas of my life. And then sometimes I can hem and haw a little bit. So that's another thing I know I want to work on, is being very confident and having great conviction in the decisions that I make. And then part of that is being authentic to yourself. So it can be as simple as like, okay, am I going to go to this Christmas party because I feel obligated to go and I'm just going because I feel like it's the right thing to do, or am I going because I want to go? So those are those type of things that you need to think about. Like, what are you authentically wanting to do for yourself, or for somebody else? I mean, there are times that in relationships, you're being considerate of somebody else, and that's really important too. But that's what I want to wrap it up on. And let's see, wait, I had one more card. Oh, I got this one. I forgot. I love this. Diamonds are coal who handled pressure well. Diamonds are coal who handled pressure well. So I actually, you know what? I love diamonds. And the reason I thought that was really appealing for today was with new openings and new beginnings, you really gotta just handle it. Go with it. Be strong. Be tough. And know that there's going to be beauty on the other end. All right. I'm just a rambler today. So I'm going to send you so much love, and I will see you tomorrow for tomorrow's message. All right. Have a great one. Thank you again.